Hey everybody, welcome back to a special edition of CAF's Heroes of Sport. My name is Bob Babbitt, co-founder of the Challenge Athletes Foundation, and this is our road to Tokyo. And if we're talking Paralympics, why not talk to a four-time Paralympian who's going to his fifth Paralympics in just a little bit. Mr. David Wagner joins us.
Hey,
how you doing,
Bob?
David?
I'm good, Bob. Thanks for having me. It's good to be here. It's
Always
good to
a
see you
pleasure. Are you as excited for the fifth one as you were for the others?
Yeah, I absolutely am. It's beyond words actually, and have an extra year to train and just be prepared more. I'm ready and excited and can't wait to just get there and get it going.
So how old were you when you were injured?
So I got injured in '95 and I was 21 years old.
And that was in Redondo Beach?
Yeah, Redondo Beach. I got tossed by a wave and I just landed on the backside of it completely wrong. Hit my head on like a sandbar and just snapped my neck.
And quadriplegic.
And I became a quadriplegic, yeah.
And had you had any exposure to adaptive sports or any friends in wheelchairs or amputees, nothing like that?
No, not that I recall. I mean, I think in my high school we maybe had a couple individuals with disabilities, but I wasn't part of that program or even affiliated with it in any way, shape, or form. So it was all foreign to me. I didn't know anything about Paralympics. I didn't know anything about disabled sport. I knew nothing. And I learned actually about disabled sport while in rehab. And I would play ping pong with my friends. And it was like they would come up, visit me, and we'd go to the ping pong table in the rec room and just bat it around, and it was like, this is really fun. And then I learned about wheelchair rugby and then some other sports, and then wheelchair tennis finally.
So wheelchair tennis, and wheelchair tennis, there's a tennis racket, and with a loss of hand control, that's a toughie.
Yeah. So for me, being a C6 incomplete quadriplegic, my hands don't open all the way, either right or left. I'm right-handed, so I had to figure out a way to hold the racket. And I'll never forget the first time I got on the tennis court. I tried to hit a ball, and the racket flew out of my hand, and I was like, no way does a quadriplegic play wheelchair tennis. Maybe a paraplegic or somebody that can hold the racket, sure. But someone like in my situation with a weak grip, I was like, there's no way. And so I was thumbing through a magazine and Sports and Spokes, and it had an ad for a wheelchair tennis clinic in Beaverton, Oregon. So I drove down with my mom and learned from Rick Draney, quadriplegic, Randy Snow, former world #1, and Dan James, the former high-performance wheelchair tennis manager. And they told me how to tape the racket to my hand, how to hit a ball, how to move the chair. And from about day one, ball one, I fell in love with the sport. I just hit a clean ball and was like, okay, now I see that this is doable.
That's cool. And at that point, were there a lot of tournaments around the world? Was it were the majors had?
So at that point, that would have been '99. Wheelchair tennis hadn't really gotten into the Grand Slams yet. There were some exhibition stuff going on. But I, to be brutally honest, I didn't get into the sport to be a Paralympian or to go play Grand Slams. I got into the sport so I could play tennis with my girlfriend and my family and other friends. And that's what attracted me to the sport. It was something that you and I can go do without you needing to be in a chair or a specific device that's similar to what I'm in, right?
Basically, I could be playing tennis and you could be playing tennis. You're in the chair and I'm running around.
Yeah, exactly. And so the court's the same, the net's the same, the ball's the same, the racket's the same, everything is the same. So that attracted me to it. And then as I started learning more about disabled sport, Paralympics, it was right around the same time Athens was starting up in '04. Was going to be the games in Athens, and they were going to have the first time ever my division was going to be included in those games. So I was like, wow, this is just a perfect opportunity and the right time. And so I dove right in head first, and so to speak, and committed fully to it. Gave it everything I had, and had to make a choice at that time because I had just graduated college. Do I go on and use my teaching degree, or do I try my hand at tennis? And
it's worked out pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, I've enjoyed it.
So you won 4 medals in singles and 4 in doubles, and 3 of those are gold in the last 4 Paralympic Games, right?
Yeah. I have eight total medals. Yeah.
That is pretty amazing. And going to Athens for the first time, and the pageantry that's associated with Pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, I truly always remembered growing up watching the Olympics with my family and thinking how great it was and how cool it was. Going in for the Paralympics, I had zero expectations. I didn't know what I was getting myself into. I just assumed I was going to another event that was similar to other wheelchair events we've gone to. Minimal crowds, not a lot of people. You walked out of the opening ceremonies and was just blown away. 110,000 people screaming and fireworks going off. I was like, okay, this is legit. And I mean, I was like just blown away. And I mean, I can remember that. I mean, that was 2004, and I can remember that like it was yesterday. I spotting my trying to find my family and friends up in the crowd, and I remember my mom told us it was a great story. She's like, and my brother, he's like, yeah, we'll be the ones wearing khaki shorts and white shirt in the stadium of 110,000 people. And I'm like, oh, no problem, I'll find you, no problem. I'm expecting like 100 people or something, right?
Right.
And I walk in and I'm like, oh yeah, okay, I'm not gonna find them anywhere. So I'm like looking around and like khaki shorts and a white shirt, like every other person, right?
That's cool.
But no, it was just really cool. And then the history of the games being, from that area, kind of the modern games, and so it was really cool just to see like the original track and field pitch and where they threw the discus and the shot puts and all the places they originated the sport. So it was really cool to see. So
when I look at all the experiences you've had, I remember you telling me a story once of playing with Roger Federer.
Yeah.
Right? I just think that's amazing because didn't he want to end up taping his hand?
We had talked about it, so we were out doing this exhibition, and it was me and Roger and Serena, and I think Andy Roddick was there, and I think Nadal was there, so it was like, some pretty high quality big names in tennis, and here I am, I'm like, oh man, I'm like shaking. And as Roger and I were walking out from the locker room, we were talking, and he's like, whoa, what are you doing? Because I'm like taping up really quick to get ready. And I'm like, oh, this is how I have to hold the racket and whatnot. And so I just kind of jokingly was like, think you could do it? And he kind of looked at me and smirked, and he's like, pretty sure I could. And I'm like, I believe you. So, I mean, just, it's cool when you have somebody who understands the sport like he does.
Yes.
Any of those top guys, and they see what I'm doing, any of us are doing in our chairs, not just with the wheelchair, but now an assistive device to hold the racket or to serve the ball or catch the ball or whatever it might be. The level of respect goes even beyond just hitting the tennis ball. It's like truly amazing respect for them, from them to us and us to them.
So when you talk about the majors, you've got the U.S. Open, you've got Australia, you've got Roland Garros, and you've got Wimbledon.
Yeah.
And you have all those, right?
Yeah,
in wheelchair tennis now.
I've played in all of them now, and I have won 20. I think I'm at 26 Grand Slam total, including doubles. So yeah, it's a lot. It's mind-blowing. It's just amazing to think I've been healthy enough to compete and fortunate enough to give it my best and continue on. And so yeah, I've been super lucky. So
how have you changed as an athlete? And you're talking about over a 20-year span playing the same sport with new people coming in and new technology. Right?
Yeah.
How have you changed and how's the sport changed?
I feel like the sport's changed a lot more as a whole, not just in wheelchair tennis, but better rackets, better string, more fit, athletes training harder. Definitely have played a role, but from a technology standpoint, for us, more dynamic, more responsive chairs, stuff that really makes a huge difference for us. Better sneakers for an able-bodied person can make a difference, and so for us, a better chair setup makes a huge difference. So, I think from that aspect, the game has evolved from that level. For me, I'm getting older, and my competition is getting younger.
Yes.
And so it becomes more challenging. So I come up with new and inventive, creative ideas on how to battle against the guys that are stronger than me and move faster than I do, and that's what my great coaches helped me with, and so I'm fortunate. So
when I look at this pandemic, and you look at it from the perspective of, okay, as an older guy who's in his late 40s, being delayed a year is not a great thing, but you were dealing with what, a
Yeah.
hernia surgery?
Yeah,
So at the end of the day, it might have been a blessing.
Yeah, so I kind of came back a little bit premature from the hernia surgery. I was cleared 4 weeks after to play.
Yeah.
I wasn't 100%, but I had an opportunity to go represent the United States in the Paralympic and Games, and I was really looking forward to that. It was something on my bucket list of things I've wanted to do. So I went a little premature, but it was great. Our team did awesome, so
Yeah.
it was awesome to be part of that great team where everyone from the United States wheelchair tennis team medaled, which was like phenomenal for our team. So it was great to be part of something like that. But reality was for me was I think having this longer break, this almost full year off, prolonged my career because it allowed me a chance to let the hernia fully heal, kind of rekindle that passion that I had for the sport, get that drive back, be hungry to be back on the court, and competing again. Not that I ever really lost it, but to really feel that like need for competition again made a huge difference. And so it really did let my body heal, let my body rest, let my mind rest. And now I can come back at it, and I feel like it prolonged my career.
So we're in 2021. We've got in France the next Olympics, the next Paralympics in 2024, and then back on U.S. soil in 2028. Is that a goal? Because you'll be in your 50s.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly on the radar. Let's put it that way. It would be it'd be pretty awesome to play one in where I was born in the area I was born in, the Fullerton area. So it would be pretty phenomenal to play there. I mean, I've got to take care of myself, take care of my body, my mind, my soul. All of those things go hand in hand all the way through. But it's definitely top on the priority list to make it that far. But there's young guys out there, young men and women out there who want the same spot. So it's going to be good, and the battle will be fun. But I'll definitely give it a try, I think.
How important has CAF been in your career?
Yeah, CAF, Challenge Athletes Foundation, has been awesome. They've been part of my career almost from day one.
Yeah.
When I didn't know about disabled sports, obviously the first thing I did was jump on the old dial-up internet and, and wait 10 minutes for a page to load. But you gather information and you learn about the things that the Challenge Athletes Foundation is doing, and it goes so much further than just any type of financial support that Challenge Athletes offers. It's the family atmosphere that they provide. When you have a question on, hey, how do you do this, or what do you know about this, or who can you put me in touch with that knows that answer, and you can always feel comfortable to reach out to Challenge Athletes. I have, and get an answer from a staff member who might know another disabled athlete who has the answers or is familiar with that. And so it goes way beyond just any type of financial support that CAF offers. It's that family atmosphere where you feel welcome always and invited in and wanted, and that is such a good feeling when you're newly disabled and been disabled for a long time. So,
as a guy who has been a role model to a lot of kids out there who have learned the sport from you, how important is that aspect of it, to be there for that next generation?
Yeah, I love giving back to my sport. I really do. I mean, it's offered me a ample amount of opportunities to meet great people and travel the world. And if I have even the smallest amount of ability to give that back to another person, and whether it be a child or an adult that's newly injured, I'm all for it, and want to help them get back into some form of normalcy within their life. And that's truly what I do love about the sport. I love competing, I love training, I love all of that. But to see a child's face light up for the first time they jump in a sports chair, or an adult who hits a tennis ball with their child who played tennis growing up and actually strikes the ball, not just bumps it back, and you're just like, wow, it's so great to see that person fall back in love with something that they used to do. And so the USTA Challenge Athletes Foundation, they all have great programs and great ways of helping that cause. So it goes way beyond just anything I've done. It's the whole family atmosphere again. So
when you look back on what's been an extraordinary career, is there one match that sticks out as your best?
Whoa, boy.
Or you're the one you look back at most proudly?
You know, I mean, I get asked that question a lot, like what achievement stands out the most. It's hard to pick just one.
Yeah.
For sure. I mean, there have been some matches that you feel are like, where you feel like you played really well, and those always stick out. So some of the losses stick out too, you know, so learning from those. But certainly any of the Paralympic matches, from the losses to the victories, from the first match to the last match, those are always going to stick out, where my family and friends were there supporting me, and hearing the chants of USA, and so much different than what we get when we're in the Grand Slams. But that is not to take anything away from the Grand Slams, right? So playing in a Grand Slam, and I'm on this court, and Venus Williams is on the court right next to me, right? And she's battling and I'm battling, and it's like, there's just too many, I think, to pick one particular one. But you learn from all of them, you grow from all of them, wins and losses. So.
And you're the epitome of power of sport and what sport does. Looking back to yourself right after your injury, if you're able to tell yourself back then, hey, you know what, this next 20 years is going to be a hell of a ride.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I think myself telling myself that, I think I would be accepting of it. I was never one of those guys who let it really get me down when I got injured. I mean, I have pictures of me 1 week after my accident, completely still paralyzed and stuck in a hospital bed with the biggest grin on my face, and just like accepting of it. And it's just like, okay, well, this is what it is, and it's time to move on and continue life, you know, and live it and enjoy it. And so if I had the ability to tell myself what was coming, I'd probably not believe myself at first, but I would certainly do everything in my power to ensure that happened. So.
David, thanks so much for being part of our CAF family. It's
Yeah,
always an
thank you.
honor, and I love your better version of yourself.
Yeah,
right?
always. That's the thing for me, is like, it just truly is I do want to always be a better version of myself, whether it's on the court or off the court. Tennis is a sport where no matter who you are, Roger Federer, Venus Williams, Serena Williams, doesn't matter who you are always striving to get better in that sport. There's never perfection in our sport, and probably most sports are that way. But our sport, you know, just when you think you've perfected the forehand, there's a new way to do it, or there's something else out there, right? And I take that same mindset off the court and into my everyday life, and just be a better version of myself every single day, and whether that's on court, off court, and doing the best you can, and that's so important. So.
Love it. David, thank you for taking time. It's always a pleasure to chat with you.
Yeah, thanks, Bob. Appreciate it.
David Wagner has been our guest, everybody. Again, this is a very special edition of CAF's Heroes of Sport. This is our road to Tokyo.